A very good evening to you, Zimbabwe. This is Gibbs Dube in Maryland, and this is Live Talk on August 31st, 2020.
And I'm Marvelous Mhlanganya here in Washington this Monday, August the 31st, 2020, where we are still reporting that there is an escalation in the number of deaths from COVID-19 in Zimbabwe. Right now, we have 196 deaths, and also we have 6,412 cases in Zimbabwe. But the good news is there are 5,061 recoveries in Zimbabwe from COVID-19.
Now, when we look at international figures, we know that according to Johns Hopkins University, there are over 25 million people that have contracted COVID-19. And out of these people, about 846,000 have actually died. And Johns Hopkins University also reports that in USA, there are almost 6 million people who have contracted COVID-19. And at least 183,068 people have died. Yes, ulwandaba lingalinjani lapha elikhona endaweni zonke zomhlaba ezijiyeneyo lo unkipsitube uhlelo lo LiveTalk. So ke lamhlanje sixoxa ngokunengi okunye kwangikhona sikhuluma nge-COVID-19. Siyabona ukuthi i-COVID-19 sibihlabile emhlabeni wonke jikelele. Nxa sikhuluma ke kule Zimbabwe, uhlangothi lwezempilakahle luyabika lapha lithi kulabantu abedlula 6,000 asebebanjwe i-COVID-19 kuze ukuthi phakathi kwenani leli kulaba yi-5,061 asebesilile kuze kusithi abayi-196 sebabhubha. I-Johns Hopkins University yabika njalo ukuthi kulabantu abedlula 25 million asebebanjwa i-COVID-19 phakathi kwenani leli kule 846,877 asebabhubha. Isibhedlela lesi siyabika njalo ukuthi kwelemelika sokulabantu abafika phose 6 million asebebanjwe i-COVID-19 kuthi ke phakathi kwenani leli sokule 183,068 asebebhubhile. Sakhuluma ngokunye njalo okutshiyeneyo, so we'll be focusing on other issues including some remarks by Herman Mashaba, who is a former Democratic Alliance leader or mayor of Johannesburg, who actually said that there's need for the ANC government to actually seize assets and money and all those things belonging to ZANU-PF officials so that the situation in Zimbabwe can be normalized. So that's one of the things. And the other issue is concerning some British bishops who are actually backing up the Catholic bishops in Zimbabwe, who have actually said there is a crisis in the Southern African nation. Marvelous.
Aiwa, kunao vachangobva kupinda kumichirongwa tinokuchingamidza yenhasi tichange tiri kutarisa nyaya yedambudziko rechirwere cheCovid-19 kana kuti coronavirus iyo yatekeshera pasi rose. Pari zvino munyika yeZimbabwe pane vanhu 6,412 vabatwa nechirwere cheCovid-19 uyezve pane vanhu 196 vawanikwa ivo vachishaya kubva kuchirwere ichi. Asi pane zvakare nhaurwa iri kubuda yekuti pane vanhu vakabatwa neCovid-19 vakawanikwa vachikunda chirwere ichi vanosvika ivo 5,061. Saka ndo zvimwe zvatichange tiri kukurukura ipo pano uyezve tichikurukura panyaya yekutyorwa kwekodzero dzevanhu. Tinotarisa kuti pane nyaya iri kubva muSouth Africa iri kuti iyo vaye vanotsigira ZANU-PF kana kuti makurukota eZANU-PF anofanirwa kunge achibatirwa zviwanikwa zvavo kuti vasapinde muSouth Africa kana vane zviwanikwa zviri muSouth Africa zvowanikwa zvichibatwa ikoko. Uyezve titarisa nyaya yekuti pane nyaya yakawanda iri kuitika munyika panyaya yekutyorwa kwekodzero dzevanhu. Hurumende iri kuti hapana kodzero dzevanhu dziri kutyorwa munyika, asi mapato anopikisa achiti aiwa pane kodzero dzevanhu dziri kutyorwa munyika pari zvino. Saka ndo zvimwe zvatichange tiri kukurukura ipo pano, asi nyaya huru inyaya yeCovid-19 kana kuti coronavirus iyo yatekeshera pasi rose pari zvino. Saka tichange tiri kukurukura tingoonesana nenyanzvi dzedu kuti zviri kufamba sei pari zvino. Gibbs.
Yes, we are trying to get hold of some of our guests, and one of the guests is Mr. Regis Vusango of ZANU-PF. I guess maybe is now ready to take our call. So let me try to call him so that we can discuss this issue with him and other guests. So now, as it is right now, there was supposed to be some protests today at the Musina and Beitbridge border posts, with some people calling for the shutdown or total shutdown of the borders until the government of Zimbabwe transforms in terms of its political and economic situation. So some people were calling for that. Yes, Rwanda basiyabona ukuthi sibili abantu abanengi bafisa ukuthi kulungiswe konke khonokho kuhlupha kweleZimbabwe ukwenza ukuthi kulungiswe okunengi. So siyabona right now we are joined by one of our guests, and that is Mr. Regis Vusango. He's a ZANU-PF activist. Mr. Vusango, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir, but I'm not a ZANU-PF activist. I'm a ZANU-PF chairman for North America.
Yes, thanks for the clarification. So he's quite a big guy. So let's call him exactly that. So, Mr. Vusango, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Brother Gibbs.
Yes, so we see that there are several issues here that we're discussing. One of those issues is what Mr. Herman Mashaba said, at the weekend. He noted that there is a political crisis in Zimbabwe, and so now there is need for the South African government to actually seize some assets of senior ZANU-PF officials. What's your reaction to that, Mr. Vusango?
Yeah, well, actually the truth of the matter is that there won't be no assets that are going to be seized by any South African government. As I reiterated from the past, that the ZANU-PF is a revolutionary party, ANC is a revolutionary party. Most of the political parties in Africa, they say, actually SADC is even the West. They are very related. They are always working in cohorts. So you would not find any SADC or African government seizing or freezing any assets for any African country. That is a dream that is not going to come true. I think whatever he said, he wishes, but I wish if wishes were horses. That's not going to happen. It's impossible.
Marvelous.
Saka munoti pachivanhu muchitaurawo neshona kuti zviri zviri kuitika panyaya iyoyi yekuti pane zviwanikwa kana kuti maassets evanhu veZANU-PF ari kunziwo nevamwe vari muSouth Africa awanikwe wachibatwa.
Yes, ndinotenda Sister Marvelous. Ndataura ndichitaura hangu nechirungu ndakuita nechikaranga ndichiti muSADC kana kuti muAfrica magovernment mazhinji ari muAfrica ma-revolutionary parties ndo vakapa independence kunyika dzese dziri muAfrica ende vanoshanda vese sema-brothers and sisters. Handi munoziva national anthem yedu yakudhara yekuAfrica yekuti ishekomborerai Africa. Iyaya ndiyo inounita ma-Africans yese. When it comes to Africa, vanhu vese muAfrica ma-president vanounita for one cause. Saka nyaya yavamashava yekuti vanoda kuti ma-assets afriziwe, aiwa uko kungorota hako zviroto zvagara zviroto toziva. Hakusi kutanga kuhwa munhu achirota even though ari munhu ane position mugovernment or mupolitical party. Saka zvakadaro hazvisi kuzoitika, but chishiviro chavo havo. Munhu nomunhu ane chishiviro chake, but izvo chishiviro chisingakwanisi kuzoti chiitike. Ndatenda.
Thank you very much. And now we are joined by Miss Vivian Nomalanga Pepe and Mr. Josephat Ngulube. He is in hiding as we speak right now. So, we'll start with you, Mr. Ngulube. So, looking at the situation in Zimbabwe right now, we know that there are some activists like you who are actually on the run. Tell us a bit about what is going on with you right now. Mr. Ngulube, sir.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Ngulube, go ahead, sir.
Engingakutsho ukuthi abantu abakuwonileyo labakubalileyo ikhona lokhu ukuthi siyagijinyiswa isitha esiZANU-PF ngoba singafuni ukuthi abantu bakhulumele amalungelo abantu, bebonisane labo ukuthi kwenziwe njengoba ilizwe selime manzozo, into zingasahambi. So izinto umnotho welizwe awusamanga kuhle. Nanzela ukuthi uqasana la ama-demonstrations thina abanye ama-activist ku-politics saqasa ukukwatulela izindlu. Mhla ka-28 babekwatula koMthulisa Ncube, bavuka bekwatula kimi mhla ka-29 bekwatula, kodwa ngase nginavele sengive sengasuka endlini ngoba sembone bekwatula koMthulisa Ncube. Kukwatuleni kwendlu lapha ngacabanga ukuthi hayi kumbe into yama-demonstrations la kuya ukuthi maybe kabafuni ukuthi abantu babhikishe batshengiselele ukuthi kabasuthiseki ngento ezenziwa nguhulumende. Ngananzela ukuthi into esengicashile khonapho ngasembona ukuthi abantu bayadodwa, abantu ngafonela amapholisa ngibuza ukuthi ngilecala yini lo wena order yekhangela amacala ethu ayezepolitics. Bathi ngacakawula cala. Kodwa into ofuzela inanzele ukuthi bona labantu abathumba abantu ebusuku besenzani isikhathi esiningi nxa lokuthumba ebusuku bafika bakulimaze bakuphoyizene bakufake izinto esilimbonile lo umfana kaDamara lo ufe ngecolon cancer okucatshangela ukuthi yihulumende yale eyayifaka emzimbeni wakhe ipoison yale eyenza icancer. Lakathesi ekubalekeni kwami ayisikuthi ngibalekele ukuthi angilacala. Ukubaleka kwami kubalekele ukuthi abantu bakufaka umkhuhlane 3 years ufile umzabalazo awuphutshanga abantu abalokhu belamba kuyiphambili. So lakathesi into esizisa ukuthi ekubalekeni kwami lapha ngizisa la ngibaleke ngoba semba sebethumba umntwana bamhlukuluza kazinyana ngokocansi bemhluthula kabuhlungu. Ngase ngibaleka ngisiza la ngibaleka lapha engiyakhona sengiphindwa nilandelwa futhi lapha engikhona kutshengisa ukuthi abantu vele bona bayalwa uhlungu abakuzwayo ngemva kokuthi inhlanga ngibe lo interview le-SABC ngitshela umhlaba wonke ukuthi hayi vele akuzange abantu bethu ukuthi kule crisis eZimbabwe ngoba uMnu kaGwena vele ngumuntu watshela abantu sowari wathina watrainelwa ukubulala, he was trained to kill. Njalo uMnu kaGwena ngesikhathi seGukurahundi ngesikhathi ebiza abantu abamathirenti bangama-dissident okwalandelayo ukuthi xa sokubagamula bebatshisela ezinto babulala kabuhlungu. Lakathesi setshile ukuthi is being attacked, uya-attackwa ngama-dark forces, ama-terrorist labanye abantu. So lakathesi into elandelayo ukuthi abantu bakutshela sibone wewurungu obuleweyo sebebulala to set wrong sebezama ukuthi babuse njengomgaba kwana ukuthi bayithusele abantu ukuthi kufuze abulawe.
Yes, siyakuzwa baba Ngulube. So what Mr. Ngulube is saying is that he's in hiding because the ZANU-PF government is looking for him. He's a political activist and he says he will always fight for the people of Zimbabwe, but he says now he fears for his life. Now coming to that issue, Baba Ngulube, Herman Mashaba, just briefly.
No, it's a good idea that Herman Mashaba is saying, but we check on the personality of Herman Mashaba. He's not a strong character that can push that thing. He doesn't have even influence. We just see what is just someone who is got sour grapes politically, but we just hope if someone from an influential position or an influential personality can take over the idea ahambelayo. If into but okunye singathi singabantu beZimbabwe sikhangela ukuthi ama-solutions ethu azenziwa abantu beSouth Africa. Into ebuhlungu kakhulu ukuthi thina abantu beZimbabwe sesihlezi phezu kwezandla. Yes, ngiyazi ukuthi le hulumende yabulala, but into esisibulala kakhulu enza singaphumeleli ukuthi silabathengisa abaningi kakhulu. Abantu bakithi kuma-political parties kona lapha asikhangela njenge-comradeship ukuthi sempini. Leli lizwe leZimbabwe likhululwe izandla lezibra. These guys have been fighting in different trenches, but they had one goal of removing the Smith regime, and they managed to do that. But the problem is like you find we are fighting in parties. Even Lema party, party of you, abantu fighter, they always see competition. Abantu sebathatha babona ukuthi politics indlela yokuthi umuntu aqhatshwe. It is a form of employment to Zimbabweans. They don't see what politics should unite people, bring a common cause to people. It should actually unlock a lot of problems. But the problem is that capitalize ukuthi abantu balambe kakhulu. Sithengiswa ngabafowethu esilapha emaphathini. Sithengiswe la ngabanye abafowethu ngoba ngengathi ukuthi we should know ukuthi nxa siku-struggle whether u-MTC uzano. I formed a group ngathi political talk podium. Abaningi bayazi most influential people in Mathebeleni bakhona. Ngabatshela ukuthi i-group le ayikho affiliated to any political party. When we come here, we are brothers and sisters, or we are comrades. So it's the same thing, the mentality that we should have as people from Zimbabwe. Ukuthi nxa sisilwa the enemy. If you see that are doing something good, if that is good in radicalism, let's appreciate him and tolerate him for that. If someone is good for singing, let's appreciate his songs and promote him in his songs. There's a revolution. Whether it's someone desire more good in poetry, in active poetry, like in activism, let's support him and learn to appreciate. But the problem is like,
thank you. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mzaka Ngulube. We also have Miss Vivian Nomalanga Pepe. Miss Pepe, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you.
And Miss Pepe is in Tel Aviv, in Israel. So, how is Israel today?
It's very hot. It's summer here now, so it's very, very hot. Like I'm in the house now with AC on because it's just too hot.
Now, the first question is on your take on the Herman Mashaba remarks. You know, he's saying seize all the ZANU-PF assets so that the Zimbabwe crisis may be resolved. What's your take on that?
What I can say is, of course, what he's saying, I partly agree with it. But coming from him, as someone who once came out and called for foreigners to be chased away from South Africa, and a lot of people ended up getting hurt, I just don't know what to say, because he said it at a moment when he's launching his political party. So I can take it as somebody who's maybe campaigning. So I don't know if to say he's genuine or he's trying to garner votes, because he knows if he tells South Africans that Zimbabweans are our problem here in South Africa, they may vote for him because that's what they are waiting to listen now. Most South Africans, they just want to hear somebody who's blaming Zimbabweans because they don't know the root cause of our problems in Zimbabwe.
Yes, briefly, 10 seconds in Ndebele or 1 minute, right?
So into engayitho mina ukuthi angimazi ukuthi yena ngokukhuluma kwakhe ukuthi ukhulumela ukuthi uzwelana labantu beZimbabwe kumbe ukhuluma ngoba la uncengisa amavoti ebantwini beSouth Africa, because uyazi ukuthi right now abantu beSouth Africa abaningi balindele nje ukuthi kuthiwe hayi liyabona iproblem le likhangelane layo ngoba iSouth Africa siyayibona layo kathesi iyaphansi. So abantu beSouth Africa into abayilindele right now ngumuntu ozobuya athi hayi ama-problems enenziwa ngama-foreigners, especially abantu baseZimbabwe. So I think nje yena uyayazi indlela yokudlala ngengqondo zabantu laye ukuthi bavele bethi nangu umuntu ebesimlindile. Seeing ukuthi uJulius Malema uhlala ethi wonke ama-Africans are equal eSouth Africa. You cannot say umuntu we-Africa yi-foreigner laphayana. So yena I think naye nje ubuya ngeyakhe naye tactic ukuthi angene nje kanjalo la yatshela abantu ukuthi ama-problems alethwa ngabantu bangaphandle abaseZimbabwe.
Thank you so much, Marvelous.
Vavusango muri kunzwa nyaya yetolerance yanga iri kutaurwa namukoma vanga vari apa kuti zvakakosha kuti vanhu veZimbabwe vakwanise ivo kuyanana. Zvinokwanisika here izvi?
Mr. Vusango, are you there?
Yes, yes, sorry, I didn't know that's my question. Aiwa, President vedu Comrade Idi Mnangagwa vanga vari kuBulawayo last week vakaita a very positive turnout with the communities from Matabeleland. I think there's a lot of partners from Matabeleland who vakauya kuti vatigadzirise nyaya yeGukurahundi. Saka mukoma vanga vachitaura nyaya yeGukurahundi and all that. Vati vari in hiding ava. Handiziva hangu kuti ivo vari muhiding. Why? Uye handifungi kuti munhu ari muhiding anofanira kunge achibuda pamapress conference nepanews iye achiti ari in hiding. I don't believe so. And I'm not disputing kuti he has issues, but kana munhu ari in hiding obva aenda panews achitaura ari pahiding achipromota kuti government ngaibviswe kana kuti handifungi kuti zvinobatsira kuti tiyananise senyika. So president wedu ari kuita basa rakanaka zvikuru. Vari kuda kugadzirisa nyaya yakaneta for decades yekuMatabeleland yeGukurahundi, and so far zvinhu zvese zviri in order. The first meeting was very positive. Saka I know kuti kune urongwa hwakawanda huri kutevera kuti tigadzirise nyika. Saka isu nyika ichagadziriswa seZANU-PF. Nyika ichagadziriswa kuti vanhu vayanane, whether ma-activist aripo or haapo. Hakuna nyika isina ma-activist, Sister Marvelous. Kwese kuna kana kwa America kuna ma-activist. Asi nyika inofana kunge ichienderera mberi, munhu anolidza nyika achitungamirira nyika, whether ma-activist aripo, whether haapo. Saka kuti nyika yedu tiri kuinda going towards the positive direction right now with the current president. He's doing his job, and let's give him time to do the dialogue. Peace. We want to bury the story and the issues of Yikho. They've been hounding us for a long time, and we want the president to deal with this once and for all. Initiations plus also development why river is coming up.
So can you put that in English? And I think one of our guests is moving around. So can you guys be in one place so that we don't have any kind of feedback? So now go ahead. Can you say that in English briefly?
You heard me in Shona, right?
Yes.
All right. In English, what I'm saying is, yes, in Zimbabwe, we are moving towards peace and stability like never before. The president, the Comrade Mnangagwa, was in Matabeleland last week. He met there with civil society and all other organizations who are. Then the discussion was all about the agenda. The theme was about the Yikho, how we can resolve our issues that happened in the 1980s when a lot of people from Matabeleland lost their lives. So the president is working, and now we have got evidence that he is the president who is trying to get, head on with the issue of Yikho. And I think we should thank the president for such an effort. The former president never wanted to entertain that issue. But Comrade Mnangagwa, he is humbling himself, going to Matabeleland to meet with them. He did not even call them to Harare to say, come to the State House. He actually went to Matabeleland and he humbled himself. So that kind of a president in Zimbabwe, we never had one like that before. Even the opposition, we don't have any opposition president who is very humble like Mnangagwa. He is showing as much effort as he can to bury the issue that has been hounding our country for decades. So what I'm trying to say is not only that, he's also focusing on development in Matabeleland. There is Gwai and Changani Dam, which is almost complete in completion. And there will be lots of water for people in Matabeleland, which has been always an issue for decades and decades since Zimbabwe acquired independence, actually even before the Smith regime. So now we see that this president is not only trying to work on peace, he's also working on development as well for Zimbabwe and also specifically for people in Matabeleland or with the development that are being done over there. So I think we should thank the president. We should applaud for the work that he's doing right now.
Thank you.
My brother who said he's in hiding, I wouldn't think that my brother is in hiding, even though I don't dispute that he has issues that he's going through, but I don't think he's in hiding, because when you are in hiding, you wouldn't come on the press and on the news and and you are talking about how you wanted the government to be taken, to be teared apart by anyone who is available to do so. I think while he is there in hiding, he should be able to help to secure peace in his country. Because to be honest with you, my brother, I don't think ZANU-PF will be removed by someone who go in hiding and then they say whatever they say. We have got a lot of people who have done that. Some even bigger people with big names. So, I would think that it's better for you while we are in hiding there to help us to create peace.
Thank you, Mr. Fusangu. Thank you so much, Mr. Fusangu. Before you respond, Mr. Mzaka Ngulube, let's put into mind that, there is a chamber application, an urgent chamber application that has been filed by Ipe Zulu, Zapu and others, who are seeking to bar Mnangagwa and others from exhuming, the bones of people who were killed during the Yikho atrocities. So, Mr. Ngulube, I think you can respond to what Mr. Fusangu is saying.
Okay, in the first place, I want to address my brother. I don't know what's his name. Uthi, when I'm not in hiding in mountains or in a hole where there's no media, this is now the fourth, if not the fifth generation, where I am. So what this brother should understand, even George Chuma, a Central Committee member, was here we had an interview with you, Gibbs. He acknowledged we've got problems. And it's actually, what I will simply say is that my brother is singing for his supper because he's in ZANU-PF. He will say anything to defend Mnangagwa for the sake of his stomach to be filled by food. Honestly, tell the truth, my brother, on the issue of Gukurahundi that we are talking about, I think it's an insult to us as people from Matebele land to tell us that you are addressing the issue of Gukurahundi with your president, Mnangagwa. Because we asked for Mnangagwa. Actually, there's a document that was written by what we call Matebele land Collective. This was a collective of organization in Matebele land. Right now, as this organization were more than 30. As we speak right now, the only people or an organization that is living, that remained there, is for Jenny Williams. The Material Collective pulled out, most of the organizations, they pulled out of this Material Collective. If you still remember, when Mnangagwa came to Bulawayo, he addressed all people, Izalwazi from rural areas, because the real people of that Material Collective were already moved out of that thing because it was dirty. We are not here as Material people to sanitize Mnangagwa with what he did during Gukurahundi, killing our people. He's the one who was leading the killing of Material people. So that's the time when Mnangagwa called Mandebele. He called Ndebele people that they're dissidents. The next thing that called was the mass murdering of Ndebele people. Right now, Mnangagwa declared on national TV that is under attack with the bad apples, with dark forces. My brother, they came to my house, they broke my house, they asked, it was all over media. The next thing, they abducted my niece. And what should mind, I'm coming from prison with the case that was false accused with this thing. Right now, we've got people who have died, including Chuangrai, who was poisoned by you guys, ZANU-PF people. Because you think Zimbabwe is ZANU-PF. You don't think of other people. We really need peace. I'm one of the people who, if you still remember, I once wrote an article when Mnangagwa was being fired, doing border jumping to whether Mozambique or whatever until he reached South Africa. I actually condemned what Mugabe was doing. I'm a Zimbabwean. That's it. That's all. But when someone is not doing the right thing, I should stand up for our people, for Zimbabweans. Uthi, this thing is wrong. So, my brother, you are very wrong there. You've got the wrong narrative about the Gukurahundi issue. Why? You should, from now, go and ask Mnangagwa why is he refusing to apologize first. We need a proper apology. We don't need people like Jane Williams who have been bribed, and this Christian Siamira who have been bribed to sanitize Mnangagwa, my brother. We really need talks. For how long have we been talking about? Can we talk as Zimbabweans and address our issues? That's why I said no. As Zimbabweans, should find our own solutions as Zimbabweans. But Mnangagwa is not a listening president, as he is saying. He is indicating right, turning left.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Ngulube. Let's hear what people are saying about what is going on in Zimbabwe right now. So they sent us messages through WhatsApp. So let's just hear a little bit about what they are saying, because it seems as if some people are very, very angry about what is happening in Zimbabwe right now. So here we go.
Linjani basakazi baka Studio 7 labalaleli. Siyaluza udaba lweGukurahundi. Abantu bonke kusukela 1980 kusiyafika iunity ezwa Nkomo loMgabe izando ezapho. Baphatheke uhluphekeni abantu bemathebeleni yeGukurahundi. Umuntu wonke owezelwe kusukela 1980 kusiyafika u87 basenkingeni, abahlalisekanga lalamhlanje abaphilanga. Asidingi ubhadalwa kwakuyinto embi leya. Asidingi ukuthi ukanje kuvulwa amathambo futhi abantu bafileyo into embi. Okusalayo amasotsha la ebulala abantu abaphilayo ngabuya ezexolisa, njalo futhi iningi labantu babaleka bachimizi yabo amaveti amaningi alapha eSouth Africa. Yibo abangabe uMnangagwa ezekhulumisana layo, ngabuya nje eBuki Stadium ekhulumisane labantu izakhamizi zasemathebeleleni zilapha eSouth Africa. Futhi asobantu beGukurahundi kuphela. Abanye lokho befihlwa lamanje. Lokho becatshwa labo bazagejwa yini bona abantu balokho bechaywa abanye befihlwa. Uzenza njani ngabo futhi? yena ubaba uMnangagwa njalo kesebhizi ngalokho.
Okhulumayo ngubusani mphuma enkaya komazambane isigodi induna yami uSobho. No, asazi ukuthi iZANU-PF bonke laba abantu bayizonda noma bayisukela. Bonke nje abantu bomhlaba abangathi kuphulwa amalungelo abantu eZimbabwe. Bona uma besithi akukho njalo ukuthi kambe bonke laba bantu bayizitha zeZANU-PF noma bayizonda iZANU-PF. Kunjenjena msakazi izwe lethu asilizondi thina. Kodwa indlela ebuswa ngayo yilo elingayisiyo. Bafowethu abantu bahlukumezeke ekhaya. Leyo into esingeke siphike futhi esingeke sithini. Alikho izwe eligcwele amasotsha ephonga ukubonakala ebantwini. Thina silapha eSouth Africa abekhona amasotsha ngesikhathi se-lockdown, kodwa manje saphindiselwe ezinkambeni ngoba amasotsha vele alodlame akubona abantu kufuza ukuthi bahlale ebantwini. Le ndlela abatrithwa ngayo nxa bese-training ayiyona nje indlela yokuthi umuntu wakhona engahlala ebantwini. Please bantu, izana ayike izama ukuthi ihloniphe abantu, ihloniphe ilungelo loluntu. Asizondi iZANU-PF, sizonda izenzo zayo.
Ukuze luthole ulwazi tholani lokwabanye lokuthile. Khathesi bengifonelana lomunye omunye osebenza esigabeni sikahulumende sithi kuzakuba lokuyi-tight security kusasa ngokuvikela kumbe kuthiwa ufuna ukugenqula uMnangagwa wangikhona lo. So esikubonayo kunzima hlobo ezithandekayo ngoba sikhangela ukuthi inkakhulu ku-transport lapha sihlutshwa ukuthi amabhasi ale-stick esibhalwe ZUPO they are free ukuthwala and athwala abantu more than the number efunakalayo. But any kombi engelastika loba ibhasi engelastika ingazama ukuthi yenze njalo and ihlibotsho ukuthi kangikwazi ukuthi corona yangikhona yona istikeni esibhalwe ZUPO ihlibalekele khatshana ithini. Hayi sicelani bakithi lathi siphosele emunye izinto ezidinga zibonakale zazakala.
So here we're listening to some of the people who sent us audios, and they are saying various things here. The first one was talking about, the remains of people that were killed during the Yikho atrocities. So he says there's absolutely no reason why those people can be exhumed without following proper procedures. So he's not happy about that. And he says maybe the president can do some kind of help to himself by going, let's say, to South Africa in a stadium where he can address some people that actually fled the country because of the Yikho atrocities. So he says that will help a lot. And then with another person who is saying that, the problem is people don't hate ZANU-PF. They hate the manner in which ZANU-PF does a lot of things. So people are not really happy at all. Marvelous.
Aiwa, kunawo tanga tiri kunzwa kubva kune vamwe vateereri vedu vepastudio 7 vanga vachipa pfungwa dzavo panyaya yezviri kuitika munyika pari zvino. I understood, I think he said something, and Mr. Vusango from ZANU-PF was asking why would Mr. Ngulube be here on social media saying that he's in hiding. And then Mr. Ngulube said, no, but the kind of hiding that's there today is different from before, because you can be in hiding, but you can also be able to send out information about what's going on. Saka vavusango vanga vari kutaura ivo kuti vari kuwanda pari zvino nokuti vari kuziva kuti vari kutsvagwa, asi vavusango veZANU-PF vanga vari kubvunza kuti ko sei imimi vaNgulube muri kuti muri kuwanda apa muri pano paprogram muchitaura zviri kuitika kwamuri, zvinoita here kuti munhu ari kuwanda ange ari paprogram pari zvino? Saka vaNgulube vakati aiwa, kuwanda kwemazuva ano kwakasiyana nekuti pari zvino unogona kunge wakawanda asi uri pachivhitivhiti uchitaura pari kuitika. Vakataura zvakare kuti ivo vakatombotaura nyaya yavaMnangagwa mushure mekunge vaMnangagwa vawanikwa ivo vachinzi vatiza vachienda kuSouth Africa mushure mekunge vaMugabe vabviswa pachigaro. Vakati aiwa, hakusi kuti ivo vari kuti ivo vari kushora zvimwe zvakawanda, asi pari zvino havasi kuunzwa kuti ivo vakachengetedzeka munyika yeZimbabwe. Saka ndosaka pari zvino vari kuwanikwa ivo vari kuzviti vari kukwanisa kunge vakawanda. Gibbs.
Miss Bebe, so I think you're back right now. So tell us a bit about your kind of opinion about what is taking place in Zimbabwe right now, and how best can all these issues can be resolved, in your own opinion.
First of all, I would like to correct this, my brother who was speaking in Shona.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrong to say we need to bury the Yikho issue. The president needs to engage the people of Matabeleland to testify, not bury the issue, because it's a painful past that can never be buried. You see, it's careless talk if you say we need to engage people so that we can bury this Yikho issue once and for all. No, that thing can never be buried.
Yeah, I would like to come in after that. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
And then, secondly, like what is happening in Zimbabwe, as I had said before, the president, in my opinion, I think he is the one. If I were to maybe engage the president one day, what I can advise him is he needs to take these things seriously. He needs to come out there and let people know how he feels about these things. Because right now it looks like he doesn't even know what is happening in his own country. And that is wrong. People cannot keep disappearing. People cannot keep on like being brutalized the way things are happening. It's very sad. And then there is not even once when we hear the president coming out, like one thing may be the accountability of the missing persons, or they're trying to find out those being brutalized, like who exactly is behind everything. I think that's what we need from the president at the moment, because I believe he is the one person who has all the power to stop whatever is happening right now. Because if him, as the most powerful man in the country, cannot stop what is happening and he's powerless when it comes to what is happening, then it's very sad, because the citizens are going to continue being brutalized and with no one to defend them. It's a sad scenario.
Yes, tolufaka ngasindebele khona khoma.
Into engayitsho ukuthi yena umongameli welizwe kumele kube nguye ovikela abantu. Right now abantu abalamuntu ongabavikela, abantu bakhangelele kuye yena umongameli. I believe ukuthi uyabona ngesikhathi kusaselo umgabe, the way abantu akade bemesaba ngakhona umgabe kumbe besenzakalani yindlela esayenzakala lamanje. And I think yena mayengasukuma phansi atsho right now ukuthi lento needs to stop, engage labo abantu aba-responsible at the top ukuthi kube yibo ababona ukuthi uzulu uphephile, umphakathi uphephile. I believe ukuthi into zonke lezi zizophela. Kodwa yena njengopresident mayezithulele kumbe layo uyesaba, then ukuthi umphakathi uzoba helpless forever. Akulanto ezosiza umphakathi. Abantu bazohlala benyamalala, abantu bazohlala bechaywa, besenziwani zonke lezi zinto ezenzakalayo. Angiboni ukuthi yena upresident engathi kakwazi ukuthi kwenzakalani elizweni lakhe right now, ngoba these days kule social media ukhona ku-Twitter, ukhona ku-Facebook. I'm sure zonke izinto ezenzakalayo somehow noma ebhizi. I know he's a very busy man, but I'm sure kumele kube khona ngelinye ilanga even abantu abakhe endlini bangamtshela ukuthi baba kule nto enje eyenzakalayo right now elizweni.
Yes, siyakuzwa kakhulu ke Mabhebhe. So Mr. Fusango, your reaction to what she's saying, very briefly.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I want to thank my sister who just spoke there. One thing I want my sister to know is I think she didn't probably get me very well when I said bury the issue. I think I said the president is engaging, and engagement, my sister, comes with a lot of things that you are discussing. It's a round table discussion where he came, and I said it very well that he came to listen, my sister, to listen to the victims, to those relatives of the victims, okay, so that he can hear and see how he can move forward. And I said there is a series of these round tables coming up, and I think, my sister, it's very unfair also for you to have a president who is humbling himself, coming to Matabeleland to listen, to hear, than the former president we had, who was actually the president when this thing happened. So I think you are very unfair for yourself and for people like us as well. Now going to the second thing, let me finish. You got your time, my sister. I think let's respectfully, I get my time. I didn't interrupt you. So now, when it comes to the issue of Gukurahundi, my sister, one thing I want you to know, Gukurahundi issue does not only bother the Matabeleland people. It bothers also us as Shonas. I'm a Karanga, and it bothers me that I have relatives who are Ndebeles. Okay, so the president himself also, he also has some relatives who are Ndebeles as well. So the Gukurahundi issue, let's not keep on making it a tribal issue. It's no longer a tribal issue, my sister. It's now a national issue. That's why it's on a national agenda. So let's not try to continue preaching tribalism. But the moment we continue saying the president does not understand what he's doing, the people from Matabeleland have suffered. We all know. We also suffered. We are not here to say that it happened, so it's good. No, it's not good for anyone. It's not good for the country. We want that to be erased from the history of our country. That's why we are trying to do this dialogue so that people
can be erased. That will never be erased. You can engage to appease,
yes,
not to
but
erase.
because you are not understanding, what I mean by erased is that we are not going to continue having this issue being talked about. Now we are talking about this issue over and over. The president is dealing with this so that in the future, tomorrow,
we're gonna talk about this forever.
Yes,
we can never erase this issue, my brother.
But my sister, look at what happened in South Africa. Look at what happened in South Africa. In South Africa, Botha and the apartheid killed South Africans. But what did Mandela do? The South Africans now, they are working hand in hand with their white brothers in South Africa. And South Africa's economy is growing. There is no tribal issues in South Africa. Our people, when they go to South Africa, they're actually suffering tribalism. But South Africans, they've got more tribes than we have in Zimbabwe. But you and you want to continue arguing about tribalism as if it's one of us is being tribal. I'm not being tribal, so don't bring that tribalism to me. I'm not tribal. I want the issue of Gukurahundi to be dealt with so that in the future my children are not going to meet a Ndebele child and still talk about tribalism. This is what I'm talking about, my sister. So please wake up from your sleep and understand. We want this to be dealt with. Thank you.
So now let's turn to Mr. Ngulube. Mr. Ngulube, I think you understand where these two are coming from. And at the end of the day, is Mr. Mnangagwa the right person to actually tackle this issue?
Basically, I think maybe I've become this issue as this brother is saying, the issue of Gukurahundi. Yes, of course, it's a tribal thing because it was a way of silencing or reducing the number of Ndebeles. Automatically, they were trying to crush the Nkomo tribe during that time. Of course, at our age, we should desist from the issue of using tribalism. I believe myself, maybe I've become popular. We should see each other as brothers and sisters, whether you're a Shona or Ndebele, we should be one people. But now, the issue that we've got, Mnangagwa is the perpetrator of Gukurahundi. He's the one who caused the Gukurahundi. So he cannot be the accused, the defense lawyer. He cannot be everything, the judge, the magistrate of the issue. What we want from Mnangagwa is a proper way of acknowledging by apologizing to the people of Matabeleland. That's the same thing. When we asked even Robert Mugabe, we need him. We don't need his money. We don't need him to go and bribe people like Jenny Williams, We want Mnangagwa to humble himself, call a meeting, the chiefs, the affected people, the victims. We also want this thing to be actually resolved. We need to move forward as a country, yes, but in the right way. We also need accountability in this issue. We should take accountability of this Gukurahundi issue. They acknowledge they really did this thing. They are apologizing to people of Matabeleland, and also to stop with immediate effect the issue of still abducting and also killing people from Matabeleland. because it's still happening. So how are we going to listen to Mnangagwa and he's still persecuting our people? You saw what happened in our houses. You saw the way they were abducting people, the way they did to Chawanda, the nephew to Matutu. They did to Nokolo. The same thing that was done by the guys of the 5th Brigade. They used a knife to remove my niece's clothes in just imagine using a knife. The same thing that was happening when they were ripping off, when they ripped off the bellies of pregnant people during Yikho. The problem that is denying what they did. They should take accountability, acknowledge the Yikho, not to bring other people like the hungry people like Omonsro wants to go back to parliament and you want employment from now. It was a civil war. Who were they fighting? Were they fighting all people in rural areas to remove killing people in that cruel manner? So what we are saying, we are saying the issue should be solved, but in a right way that is going to satisfy the people of Matabeleland. This brother of mine who was talking, let me tell you, my brother, I'm Josephat Mzatangulube. I'm a leader from Matabeleland. I'm 35 years old. We had leaders like Joshua Mkagonkomo. They are now late. They died before finishing the conclusion in this issue. We now expect Mnangagwa to engage the people from Matabeleland. I'm also a leader. Being a leader doesn't mean I have to be in ZANU-PF for MTC and become an MP. I'm a leader. The fact that I stand up and fight for people from Matabeleland means I'm a leader there. Mnangagwa should engage the right people. We want Mnangagwa to go back to the document that was written by the really Matabeleland collective. We want him to solve the Yikho issue, but let him be a listening president.
Thank you, Mr. Ngulube. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ngulube. Mapepe, ngena ngesindebele khonapho la ngasikhiwa just briefly siya ku Marvelous. Go ahead.
Mina into engayitsho ukuthi like njengoba ubhuti ekhuluma angiqondanga ukuthi ngifake ubandlululo, but there is no way we can mention because iGukurahundi and tribalism goes hand in hand. There is no way ukuthi ngathi ukhuluma ngeGukurahundi and then bese uthi wena itribalism ayisebenzi. Into ayivela iqala uGukurahundi to begin with yilo ubandlululo lweli njengoba umzaca esithi. And then enye into ehluphayo right now eyenza abantu bengathi kabayiyamukeli lento inhliziyo zabantu bemathebeleleni zibuhlungu i-marginalization ekhona. As long as bengalungisanga leyo nto leyo abantu bemathebeleleni bezizwe labo ukuthi bangabantu endaweni yakibo, ngenye into ezohlala isihlupha ngoba noma singafuni ukuthi sithi kungathiwa ngilobandlululo, but abantu bengazizwa ukuthi bona they belong in that country. Akula nto esiyabe siyilungisa, kuyafana lokuthi siyadlala. So mina ngiqondanga ukuthi ngibandlulule, but asikwazi ukuthi sikhulume ngeGukurahundi vele singamenshini ubandlululo.
Yeah, kufana ngesikhiwa ma.
So what I'm trying to say is that the Yikho issue goes hand in hand with tribalism. There is no way we can say we're trying to correct the Yikho past without mentioning tribalism. And the other thing I think that's causing all this is the marginalization. Like the people of Matabeleland don't feel that they belong, like they have equal rights in that country. The same rights that the people from Mashonaland have. I think that's where the other problem is coming from. So that needs to be fixed as well. If we need to move past the Yikho issue and the tribalism issue, we should fix the marginalization as well.
Thank you very much, Marvelous.
Thank you. Can I come also, please? I need to respond.
Yes, go ahead.
These questions are directed to us.
Go ahead.
So I think what I believe, Brother Gibbs, is that when we dialogue in Zimbabwe, when we dialogue, and I have my sister and my brother who have heavy hearts about what happened in the past. Okay, that tribalism was there before Yikho. Let's be very clear about that. There was always tribalism in Zimbabwe before Yikho, because we have tribes. Whenever you have tribes, you have got issues. That's why if you live in a country where there's racism and they are black and they are white people, you're still gonna have racism. Is gonna be there. But it's how we handle ourselves as we move forward, and how do we make our country prosper. the most important thing is what we need to do is when we dialogue, let's understand that we are all in the same boat. What you are wishing for is exactly what everybody in Mashonaland is actually wishing for. That's why the president is actually taking time to go to Matabeleland, right? He's not doing there because he wants people from Matabeleland to vote for him. It's not because of that. So now I'm seeing that when we continue dialoguing, it will bring our country, back into a social state where we are all socializing with no problems. People can freely move and go anywhere with no issues. The issue of looking down at the president while he is trying to do this initiation, it will actually not help us. Because look at Rwanda. In Rwanda, I think the genocide in Rwanda probably was even worse than in Zimbabwe. We are not saying it was good. It was bad. We don't need genocide in any country. As Africans, we don't need that. The Veles and Shonas, we are brothers at the end of the day. So now, look at where Rwanda is now. And when did the genocide in Rwanda happen? And what is stopping Zimbabweans from becoming like Rwandese, so that our country could also be back to be the breadbasket of Africa? We are the ones, my sister and my brother, my sister Ngulube and my brother Bebe. We are the ones who can actually turn this country. My brother, you are almost the same age with me. I'm sure my sister is a little bit maybe the same also, but we are the leaders of tomorrow. We want to sit side by side tomorrow and see what we can do with our country, but we cannot do it if we are not recognizing each other right now. If you are doing something that is good and you are trying to initiate the talks to see what we can do about the Yikho issue, we want our brothers in Matabeleland and our sisters in Matabeleland to understand that this is a good initiation. You should be thankful for this development because this has not been there before. So we are moving towards the right direction. But if we are trying to do the positive thing and you are actually saying, no, it's not the right way, then what do you want things to be? Do you want people to sit back and just leave it? Like what happened to Robert Mugabe, who left it? He leave it, and then the next president will say, why me? I don't know anything. I'm leaving it as well. Is that what we want?
Thank you very much. Can you put that in Shona? In Shona, please.
President, wedu achita my initiation nokuti kuita peace nekuti nyaya yegukurahundi ikwanise kuti itwe resolve. Zvinhu zvakanaka zvokuti isu mabrothers nemasisters ekumatebhelele tinofana kutenda mukuru wenyika nezvaari kuita. Nokuti mukuru wenyika haasi kumanikidzwa kuita zvaari kuita. Anogona kungoti I'm not gonna deal nenyaya yegukurahundi and hapana zvomunomita. And hapana kana any Shona or Ndebele can do to him. He can actually say I'm not doing it. But he is humbling himself vachiinda kumatebhelele kunonzwa achiterera, as he said, is a listening president. When you say as a listening president, but last week in Matabeleland, if you go and sit down with the civil society, avakanga vasangana navo kuMatabeleland, vanhu vese vakabva pamusangano iwayo vachifara nokuti president vedu vanga vakanyarara vachiteerera zvanga zvichitaurwa navanhu kuMatabeleland. That's being a listening president in English. Saka what I'm saying ndezvokuti ngatisave vanhu vanongoshora chese chiri kuitwa neZANU-PF nomukuru wenyika. Nokuti kana tikaderoka especially issue yeGukurahundi, tine issue yekurwanda yegenocide yakaitika kurwanda. Tikatarisa kuti kurwanda genocide yekurwanda yakaitika rini? Genocide yekuZimbabwe or what you call the Yikho yakaitika rini? But Rwanda iri papi nhasi munyika mavo. Vanhu vekurwanda kana ukatarisa even ukaenda paYouTube ukatarisa, vanhu vekurwanda havachina problem yegenocide anymore. Nyika yavo yakubudirira nokuti vakaita resolve their issues. Vakomana kuMatabeleland nevasikana kuMatabeleland nevakomana kuMashonaland neMakaranga and Zezuru. We are one people, one country. We want to resolve this issue. Kuitira kuti tikwanise nyika yedu ndo kwainokwanisa kuti isimuke chete ipapo. Haikwanisi kusumuka tikaramba tichiti chakanaka chiri kuitwa chakashata. Nokuti president ava kana vakasiya nyaya iyi, Mugabe akaisiya, kana vakaona kuti zviri kunetsa vanogona kana mukaramba mupadayo vakasiya, president achauya futi anogona kusiya futi. Saka kana vakaramba vachisiya mapresident aya anozoresolva ndiani? Nokuti inini kana ndikazera president mangwana ndinomutaurira kuti nyaya yegukurahundi handinei nayo because payakaitwa inda ndichitori mwana mudoko. Dealing with problems before, I've got better things to do, and you can't do nothing to me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. But I think we've lost Marvelous's audio. We cannot hear her. So I think she'll come back and join us again. So now, Baba Mzaka, when you are pambili kumele kwenziweni, just 1 minute ngoba sesiya vala uhlelo lethu. Kumele kwenziweni.
Okay. Okay, the problem is that he is the accused in this Yikho issue, and he cannot be the accused, witness, and the judge in one case. We should go back. Like right now, we've got an issue. This ZANU-PF, they are denying. I said we need acknowledgement. The ZANU-PF, Nangagwa should acknowledge and with his colleagues that this Yikho thing happened. We need accountability of what happened. And then the atonement on the issue, how are we going to resolve this thing moving forward? He say he should be arrested or what? We need proper procedure. Because this, let me just go back to this brother of mine who said if he becomes the president, he will just forget. This issue is going to haunt even the next generation of our kids, even the Shona kids that are coming. This thing should be solved once and for all. I once said to Uthi in one of the articles that Nangagwa should make sure this guy is Nangagwa's in the series before he passed away. They should address the issue of Yikho, because by leaving it hanging right now, they are creating something that is very bad to the next generation. It won't stop. Honestly, because this thing, it was related to us by our fathers, our grandmothers. We are also relating this thing to our kids. They are asking how it happened. Killing people like that, serious death, I'll be telling them that this thing should be solved. Even whoever the president will come, whether he's young, will be 17, and tries to know this thing, it will erupt one day.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ngulube. Marvelous.
Ndandabvunza vavhusango kuti saka vari kuona remangwana renyika rakamira sei mushure mezviri kutaurwa navangulube nevamwe.
Mr. Vusango.
Inini ndiri kuona nyaya yeGukurahundi ichiita come to be resolved. Nokuti ma-initiations acho akatotanga. And the first meeting yakanga iri very positive. Kureva kutoti next meeting yakatosetwa. Saka vanhu vari involved. Vari kutoenda kunoita ma-discussions aya. Zvokuti vana vanguluve vana navabhebhe avadei vakanga vari vanhu vari kumushawo ikoko. Vachibvunzawo vachikwanisa kuti kana zvibvunza vachitoendawo ikoko kuma-discussions. Vanoendavo nokuti president vari kuteerera ende vari kuda kuti nyaya iyi iitwe resolve. Saka ini ndinoona kuti ramangwana reZimbabwe rinenge rakatojeka nokuti nyaya iyoyi ikagadziriswa. Hatichazorambi tine nyaya iyoyi kumaTebeleland, vevanhu kumaTebeleland havachazorambi futi vachifila kunge vari kuitwa sideline pa-development and social activities and everything for the country. Nokuti president vedu ava vari kuratidza kuti munhu ari kuda kutoti maTebeleland ibudirire. Saka sometimes zvatinofanira kuita sevanhu ndozvokuti ngatiregei kuda kuruma ruoko kuri kuda kutipa chikafu. Nokuti tiri kuda kutofidwa president vari kuda kutipa peace kumaTebeleland nestability nedevelopment. Saka zvinhu zvanga zvisiripo, zvinhu zvisakamboitwa kumaTebeleland before kubva patakahwina nyika yedu muna 1980. Saka ndiri kuti vanhu kumaTebeleland ngavave nepatience uye vakwanisewo kuundastanda kuti vaite moyo murefu vachitenda president nezvavari kuita. Nokuti kana vakati ivo munhu akauya achida kukuteerera iwe wakumurova munhu iyeye kana kuti wakumutaura kuti iwewe ndiwe perpetrator. Saka ava brother vangu vanga vachitaura ava brother vangu Ngulube Bhebhe vatengi kana vachiti president Mnangagwa ndivo vanga vari accused, but vari kuti ivo vanoda kuti nyaya iitwe resolve. Then you see now it's like we're going around on circles. President venyika kana muchiti vari accused vakaenda report vakachajwa kunzi is accused. Which court said he was accused? We can't do that. Let's not put a case on someone unless they are accused. It's very dangerous. We don't want to continue creating volatile situations in Zimbabwe. Tiri kuda kugadzisa nyaya yeGukurahundi ikwanisike kuti iite resolve. Akatipewo mukana iwoyo ndatenda.
Thank you very much, Miss Pepe. 10 seconds. Your last word.
We mustn't try and suppress this issue. Lento into ebuhlungu eyenzakalayo, yenu president needs to engage abantu bemaTebeleland, try as hard as he can to appease.
Thank you.
Abantu bezwa ubuhlungu.
Thank you very much. I think there's no extra time here. Marvelous.
Yeah,
so we should thank our guests this evening, Mr. Regis Vusango of ZANU-PF. We also wish to thank Mr. Josephat Mzaqangulube. He is a political activist. And Miss Vivian Pepe, she's also a political activist. Signing off from Maryland, this is Kip Stube.
I'm Marvelous Mplanganya, we are broadcasting from our home in Washington, D.C. because of COVID-19. And by the way, this is a pre-recorded program, so by the time you watch this, the figures may have changed.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.